who gave the club owners the authority? I'm told that's what he wants to say. Who gave the club owners the authority to send LMC out of their office? Well, I'm not sure anybody has been said out of office, just telling them that your tenure is over. Someone says, can relegated clubs retain membership of the Globe Premier League? No, when you are relegated from the Globe Premier League, you go down. But if you are a member of the club, and they said they have an expanded meeting, which also involved relegated teams and the promoted teams, which is 24 in taking the decision, because he had the name of someone from 3SC mentioned. Sani Oluwaseun at Piro Image says, all we are seeing as regards LMC and club owners is 1 step forward, 10 steps backward. How did we get here? How we got here? How we got here is a long story, and I hope we are not treading that part again.
Part of that story was when a league management committee overnight transformed into a league management company.
Let me read this one. Oladele Afuwakpe, who takes charge of the league now that the LMC has been dissolved by the club owners. You know, gentlemen, we can go on and on and on and talk about the mandate of 1 year given by the NFF president. And the club owners are saying that in their communique that
given by the NFF president.
That's why there's a letter to FIFA in which he said that it was a 1 year arrangement, interim arrangement, and all of that. I'm leaving that on one side. NFF will have a lot to say about this. The Sports Commission will have a lot to say about it. And I think what can resolve this is a political solution. Political solution as always. The clubs, the LMC, the minister, the NFF sitting down and say, look.
It just calls into question the so-called independence of these leagues. And
then maybe fragile peace once again. And then we'll manage it for another 1 year or 2 years. And then we'll come back to this issue. But I hope we can solve this problem once and for all. In my own opinion, I think LMC have done so well. And I think they deserve maybe to do, they need more time to do more. But at the same time, you need to understand the authority of the clubs in all of this issue. That's my own opinion. But tell us what you think about all of that as well. We'll go on a quick break now, gentlemen, because we can't exhaust this topic in one day. Maybe we'll continue tomorrow, some other time, when we have more facts and figures around it. Let's go on a quick break and talk National League. Thankfully, National League, just like last season, don't have any crisis around their neck.
There's no money involved. Anytime money comes, there will be crisis.
Let's go on a break. We'll come back for more. Okay, thank you for staying with us. It's still sports tonight, and we've made a change, complete change. We had 2 new guys in the studios of equal quality, I must tell you. Vincent Akibami joins us on Sports Tonight. He's a good friend from Kaduna, the public relations officer of Ranchers Bees or Ranch Bees. Ranch Bees.
We can call it both ways.
You can call it Ranchers, you can call it Ranch.
Bees, yes.
Yeah. Good to have you on Sports Tonight.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
We're happy to have you.
I'm happy being on this program. This is where you say things, like, no man whose ox is God.
We have no option.
Yeah.
And of course, Dumnadio Konta is also on the show tonight. Vincent, let's not talk about the controversy of the Premier League. Although there's a little controversy coming from Kaduna, where acting commissioner has told by Sabo Babayaro.
Of course, it's possible that it's just one voice. Like, nobody knows what's happening underneath.
Okay, so let's leave it at that. But let's talk about the National League very quickly. National League is starting. We have a date for the National League starting after the Congress of the NFF. No date fixed yet.
No date fixed, of course. Like I think looking at how it was run last year, like I want to say that for the first time, I think we saw a league that was run based on the rules and regulations, except aside for maybe some 4 issues like the NFF arbitration. We also have the
appeal. You mean appeal
yes,
and organizing committee, disciplinary committee.
They almost met the league. Then we also had the issue of officiating, referees, and like the Zamfara withdrawal. Those are the 4 issues that wanted to mar the league last season. Of course, talking about the arbitration panel of NFF. Of course,
arbitration panel or appeal committee.
Like they kept on
appeal. Arbitration is higher than appeal.
Okay, like we had a situation where the NNL wanted to follow the rules and regulations. We had matches where we had encroachment, and of course the rules was followed. And of course, at the end of the day, the arbitration, right? The committee wanted to now make judgment based on maybe legal issues. Of course, these days you don't use legal rules and court rules and football rules. Like you have both 2 different things. So that really affected the league itself. Also talking about officiating in the league was actually not too good for last season.
So the major challenges that you had in the National League last season, officiating, security,
and of course, this Zafara issue where Zafara withdrew towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I remember I sat on the committee that there were a lot of issues of match fixing,
some people were
influence Zafara to withdraw and all of that.
Like 2 seasons ago, the Ranchers Bees were, I think, just 2 matches of the league. Jamaica withdrew and we were about getting promotion. But the withdrawal of Jamaica actually affected Ranchers from getting promotion.
I couldn't get promotion again.
So that was 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago. So like I think something has to be done concerning the issue of a club
teams withdrawing.
Yeah, I think
towards the end of the season.
So something has to be done about. They're talking about officiating. We had a show where referees, of course, it's either they're being influenced or they, of course, fans insecurity,
threat to their lives.
Threat to their lives. Why some, of course, maybe because of the personality of some club managers involved, actually will make them want to favor the home team. So I think on that aspect, we need more security. Security has to be put in place to make the referees able to officiate the right way. And of course, like security, we're talking about security. Like in the rules, they said 50 referees,
50 policemen.
But if you end up seeing cases where you have just maybe 10, 20 baton carrying policemen, and of course, as a referee, you see somebody carrying dagger or see people shouting at the back of. Definitely, you want to favor the home team to get a win. So those are the issues that actually affected the National League last season.
Let me bring you in, Dumnodi. How would you describe the National League? They are waiting for the AGM of the NFF to end before they fix a date for the league to start. We don't even know anything about the Globe Premier League now. Now with this fresh round of controversy hanging around, what are you expecting to see from the National League in the new season?
Yeah, I highlighted some issues. I think it's common to all the leagues. Even at the top level, you see crowd violence. But I think for the National League, some of the clubs there,
most of the clubs in the National League are a lot of private clubs in the National League.
Yes, but you know when you have issues that have to do with crowd violence, how many policemen are supposed to be in a particular venue? Do you have 50 and they're up to 50? What do you describe as policemen? Is it women? Is it civil defense officials? What do you describe as security agent at match venues? I don't know. That has to be sorted out. But for the National League, I think the National League was once one of the toughest. I think in those days, when the National League was the amateur league then, when we had the Pro 1, Pro 2, Pro 3, then National League then was the amateur one. I think it was tough then. We have a lot of enthusiasm from these players. They give us some kind of football. But these days, I don't know what has happened. But I think they must come out properly. If a club wants to pull out of the league, if that club gets to if it gets to the second round
after a certain number of games, it is impossible for you to withdraw.
If you stand banned for life, even if somebody buys the club over, that club seeks to exist. At every level, that should have been the penalty, so that you don't withdraw in the middle moment like the one we had in Papa United, where you have to withdraw and come of the club and complain that one club buy another club, they are to pull out so that they will gain point or they will lose some point, and some other club will suffer from the point loss.
What are your plans for next season? You missed promotion 2 times now, narrowly.
Yes, narrowly. Yeah,
Ranch Bees.
Yes, like now by Saturday, the chairman will be meeting with other officials.
Is the chairman still Arua?
No, the chairman is Abdulaziz.
Okay, Abdulaziz Mohammed.
Arua is
that's the chairman of
club of Ranch.
Oh yes, Abdulaziz Mohammed. Yes.
So by this weekend, we'll be meeting with the officials and of course the coaches to see the players that will be dropped. Like that's another problem with Nigerian football: players' contract and the rest. So we just drop players.
What kind of contracts do you offer your players? You're a private club.
Yeah, of course, it's what.